Everybody. You know what time it is. The Real Talk Sports Saturday Sports Update is coming up right now. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, the Minister Jonathan Simmons. And as you can see, I am back in the lockdown living room. That's because the preacher got COVID. Oh my gosh. After surviving literally years of the intensity of COVID, um, being in a situation where I was out in the streets covering sports, everything. I'm in the middle of it. People hit me up. Rev, you out there with all them people? They were literally, I went and covered the Braves on their World Series run. There were 50,000 people in the battery. And like we were all walking like sardines. And I was doing my broadcast, and people come behind me screaming and hollering, and people are drunk, all kinds of stuff going on. No COVID. I worked for a dealership. We had no mask policy, no COVID. But what I get it in my house, of all places, in my house. Me and my daughter now have COVID. We think that her friend passed it on to us. But the bottom line is the minister is back in the lockdown living room as we were when COVID first struck. And matter of fact, that's when many of you first started watching our broadcast when you were stuck in your house and you said, "Who's this? Who's this guy talking about? He's a preacher talking some sports." But we appreciate all those of you again joined in to check us out today. Here's our information. Please follow us on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. You can follow me personally at Minister J Sim. If you have a compelling sports story, or if you would like to be a part of a show, because that's one thing that we're going to do this year. We really want to expand the reach of the show, and the only way I can do that is some help. So I'm asking you if you are interested in getting involved in sports broadcasting, social media, posting, marketing, sales. We got positions for everybody. If you market, you know how to edit, and you're like, hey man, I've always wanted to do something. Please let me know. Now, I will tell you, I can't really pay you like they're like intern job. I could probably get you a nice meal at Chick-fil-A from time to time. Maybe give you a little gas, maybe give you a little gas money if you have to meet us somewhere, the location. But the bottom line is the Real Talk Sports Show needs some help. Let me speak in the King's English. The Real Talk Sports Show needs your help. We need you. And we'd love to have you be a part of the broadcast again. Contact me, Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net, or hit me up, Real Talk Sports. Excuse me, my bad. Let me put it back up here. Let me slow down. I'm so excited. I'll tell you why in a minute. Jay Simmons at realtalksports.net, or 678-410-9833 is how you can reach moi. And you're probably thinking, okay, Minister, why are you excited? I tell you why I'm excited. I'm excited because of the fact that, man, this COVID had me sick as a dog. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not out of it yet, but oh my gosh, it's better than it was a couple of days ago. A couple of days ago, I was sick. I mean, when I say sick, I normally don't get sick. My daughter would tell you I live with her because I'm a bad patient, and I take a lot of stuff to try to keep myself up and seaworthy. So I take all your elderberry, vitamin C, vitamin D, all the medications that vitamins. I think a regimen to try to keep me up. But at the end of the day, first of all, let me just thank God that neither one of us got so sick to the point we had to go to the hospital, or required any really serious care. 'Cause so many people. Um, let's try. I guess my mic is a little. Can't hear me too good. Okay, hopefully, let's see. Let me adjust my mic here. I guess that's a little problem. You guys couldn't hear me. We're gonna do some things. Not just so much as 2024, but we're gonna do some things to improve our broadcast. Because the thing we want to do is we want to really be in a situation where you guys who follow us can really enjoy the broadcast. And so my understanding, if you can't hear me or if the sound quality is bad, that's not going to work. So hopefully and prayerfully we can get things squared away here, and especially with this headset, we can get it so that let me pull the microphone out a little bit more. Maybe that'll help too. There we go. I think we're cooking with grease now. So hopefully you guys can hear me better now, and everything's good to go here on the audio, because I understand this works. If your audio is bad, the video is bad. Amen. But anyway, like I say, guys, I just want to be publicly say, first of all, as we reach the end of the year, I want to publicly say, first of all, thank the Lord, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because without him, I wouldn't be here. And especially, battling through the tail end of this COVID strike. I mean, I'm just telling you, boys and girls, we wouldn't be here. So I just thank the Lord that we are able to be here and to be able to do this broadcast. And that's why I want to thank each and every one of you, especially those of you who watch us on the replay. So many of you watch this broadcast when it's not live. You take time out to tune in on the show days later. And so I want to be thankful to you, because you are the guys that really do the bulk of our numbers as far as watching, especially those of you on YouTube. Thank you so much. Speaking of YouTube, speaking of YouTube, I want to just say thank you, because we have now reached 800 plus followers on YouTube. So I'm going to put a big shout out and say thank you to all those of you who have helped us reach 18 followers. So I'm going to put it right here on social media. Thank you all, because we have now reached 802 followers actually on YouTube. And we thank you so much for that. And also, we want to give a big shout out and thanks to those who listen to us, because y'all not getting the visual. Those who listen to us right now and have done this throughout the years on the legendary WIGO Pacesetter 1570 AM here in Atlanta, and those of you who listen around the world on WIGO1570.com, and also on the app. It's a TuneIn app. Thank you so much for you people who have done this, and again, stay with us. And yeah, man, it's just good stuff. Now we are going to talk about some sports. Obviously, we're going to get into that. But like I said, I just wanted to start, with some real thanks. Like I said again, because you know, I guess I don't like to talk about my age too much, because I'm getting older, and I do realize that my time of departure is a lot closer than my time of arrival. I get that, but at the end of the day, we just want to be thankful to everybody who's been with me on this journey. Because for those of you who are familiar with me, you know that I'm not a journalist. I didn't go to school for journalism. I didn't go to school for sports marketing. I didn't start this in my 20s and 30s as a career. This is something that came to me late in life. I actually started this at age 49, about 15 years ago. I was listening to the station I'm on now, WIGO 1570, on the evening, and heard a sports broadcast. And I thought it was kind of odd that a station that is primarily a gospel station has a sports show on. And so I kept listening and kept listening. And, the announcer, I shouldn't say the announcer, the sports host at the time, my good buddy Vincent W. Turner, said, "Hey, phone lines are open, call in." I'm like, "I'm not calling in, because, they keep you on hold a long time and blah, blah, blah." And this happened twice. And finally, after the second time, literally, I believe the Spirit of the Lord telling me, when they say that again, you call in. I said, "Okay." And I called in, and after that, Vince and I had several conversations, and it led up to me doing a show with him, which he allowed me to call it the Real Talk Sports Show. And of course, the rest is history. And that's what we're doing with you still to this day. So The fact I've been able to be on this show, 15 years of broadcasting on and off the radio. I've been on 860 AM. I've been on 1570. I've been allowed to do the show on, which I'm doing right now. My good buddy Gary Booker has a station on Roku TV. We're actually on TV, real TV, Roku, via the Phoenix Entertainment channel. If you go on to Tiki Live, put in Phoenix Entertainment, we're broadcasting there. I've had an opportunity to host the a local station here in Atlanta called AIB TV, which stands for Atlanta Interfaith Broadcasters. They actually had a sports show called Skybox. There was a 2-year run where I was the host and lead reporter and even producer of a couple of shows for Skybox. So I'm very thankful that now I'm in my 60s, that I'm still able to go out and cover sports, covered 4 or 5 Super Bowls. So, I'm very, very thankful to God for allowing me to do that. And again, thankful to you. So many people stop me in the supermarkets. People stop me in various places and say, "Hey, ain't you the Real Talk Sports guy?" I said, "Well, that would be me." So again, just very, very thankful and appreciative to everybody. And I'm also very appreciative to my employer, my current employer, Allen Vigil Ford in Lincoln. They're located right here in Morrow, Georgia, because Mr. Vigil has been actually a rarity, a proud supporter as an employer. Now, keep in mind, this guy employs me to sell cars, primarily to businesses and to commercial entities. But yet, him being a sports fan, he's found it not a problem to allow me to do this broadcast. Oftentimes, I do it from Allen Vigil Ford. He's been our title sponsor for high school football. As those of you again follow us know, we do the live broadcast Friday Night Live during the football season. So very, very thankful to him. And so that's a good segue. We're going to shift and take a quick commercial break. Keep it locked right here for more of the Real Talk Sports Show. But let's take a listen to what we got going on at Allen Vigil Ford.
Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net. The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice.
Coming up next, it's the Real Talk Sports Show, bringing you great sports talk with perspective. Now, here's our host, Jonathan Simmons.
We're back here with the Real Talk Sports Show. Yes, in fact, I am your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. And as I remind people at the end of the broadcast, I'm actually a real life minister for real, which always is interesting as I do this show. And people like, man, you wearing these different hats. You car guy, you preacher guy, and sports guy. And again, very, very thankful I'm able to do all these different things. It's made for a very interesting life. Well, again, just want to let you guys know we are, in fact, back in the lockdown living room because, unfortunately, me and my daughter, who I live with, we got the COVID. Thank you. Yeah, COVID. And I got to tell you the thing that's crazy about the whole COVID thing. So I have survived all types of events going out publicly, covering sports events, worked at the dealership where for a while we had no real mask policy. So people were coming in off the streets any old kind of way. But I didn't know COVID. I think I might have had it one time, but no real major symptoms. And here it is at the end of 2023, when we've had a little bit of a resurgence, but basically, we're kind of thinking we're post COVID. This is when I finally get the real full blown, I test positive, sick as a dog, had the chills, throat dry, coughing, that dry cough. The other day, hacked up some bad looking stuff. And I'm thinking, man, what on earth? But again, very thankful to God that it was not so severe that we had to, go to the hospital, either me or my daughter. Also very thankful that the symptoms are apparently on the down um, the downward spiral right now. So when I say down, Lord forgive me. I mean that they have died down. So certainly I feel a whole lot better now. We both do, thankfully for that. So I mean, it's like just I'm just so excited that, like I say again, we're on the tail end of this thing, and that we're feeling a whole lot better, both of us. And certainly for those who I did tell, we appreciate you and your prayers, because man, this COVID thing is nothing nice. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, it is really nothing nice, and it's really a shame. And I don't want to get too political, that we have nefarious people in the world that would concoct this terrible, terrible disease that took the lives of so many people around the world, and just for money and just for greed. So I mean, just a terrible thing. All right, let's go to social media here. My good friend Donna Jones says, "Feel better." Yeah, I am feeling a whole lot better than before. I got to tell you, I mean, it just was. We've had some up and down days in terms of sleeping, my daughter and myself, but thanks be on the God. Whoo, buddy, we feel a whole lot better. And fortunately, I've not had to take a lot of medications. That's something that I'm not really that fond of. I did continue to do a very aggressive vitamin regimen, so heavy doses of vitamin C, heavy doses of vitamin D, your elderberry, echinacea, the things that I know, according to all reports and studies, help boost the immune system. And then, of course, the thing we were told during COVID is that we got to keep moving. So, fortunately, my daughter has like kind of a triplex. So, the studio that I broadcast out of is up on the third floor. So, walking up and down the stairs has kept us, moving. And like I said again, thankfully, it seems like that the symptoms are certainly subsiding. And we look forward to, in a couple of days, hopefully getting a positive, negative test. Maybe we can get one today. Who knows? And get ourselves back out in the middle of it. Of course, a bit more cautious. I probably will be a little bit more masked up than before. I will looking to do that. No doubt about it. But like I said again, we're just thankful that it did not have a more severe impact on my health or on my daughter's health. So that's really it. All right. Well, let's take a look back a little bit at some of the things that we saw and did last year. Certainly, again, the big thing and the cool thing about doing this, I get a chance to do a lot of cool things. I mean, I really do. I get a little chance to go places and see things. You guys know that last year I went for my first time into Phoenix, Arizona, and got a chance to cover some of the Super Bowl events and the things that lead up to the Super Bowl. So just so you guys know, a lot of people just think about the Super Bowl game in itself, and they think about the advertisements and how much money is spent there, which is really, really cool. But what most people don't know is there's actually something called the week of the Super Bowl. And literally, where for the entire week, whatever the host city is, and actually starts 2 weeks before, but really starts in full throttle the week before the game itself, the city is transformed into everything Super Bowl. So literally around pretty much a 30-mile radius of the city, events go on every day, everywhere within that 30-mile radius. I mean, starting with Monday when they have usually at the pro team, if they have on a pro basketball team's arena, they have I forget the actual official name for it, but basically all players from both teams actually arrive at the location, and then each team is introduced separately, of course, and then there's about a 15-minute time frame where there's literally a scrum. When I say a scrum, where the press is literally allowed to come, and if you got a microphone and you can secure a player, you can ask a question. In addition to that, they have about 12 or 14 booths where they have usually the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and then maybe four to six of the top players, usually three top offensive players and your three-star defensive players out there that you actually have access to. You as a reporter, you have to be from ESPN, you have to be from Fox Sports. As long as you are a credentialed reporter, you can ask that player a question. That's how Super Bowl week starts off. And then after that, they have events, like I said, everywhere, parties as you get towards the game itself. And it's an extravaganza. That's the best way I can describe it. I mean, it just was people come in from all walks of life, politicians, business people, entertainers, a lot of entertainers, of former players, a lot of Hall of Fame players, guys that you might have grown up watching that were legendary players. They all come, and it becomes part of almost like this giant reunion for all things involving the NFL. And so that's kind of how our year has started the last couple of years. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dive into the archives and let's see if I can find a clip of some of our interviews that we have done. Hopefully, I've still got them saved right here. Let's take a look at this one. This is an event that we do every year when we go to Super Bowl week. It's actually held by the NFL. Let me make sure if I get the correct name here. I always kind of goof this name up. I think it's the NFL. NFL. Let me just get it. I'm gonna look it up on Google. Make sure I'm correct. The Mundo. Come on, to give him a shout out. I think it's let's see. I said 2 or 3 times, but I'm gonna check it out before I do this. It's called the Off the Field NFL Wives Association. Every single year at the Super Bowl, one of their huge fundraisers that they do is a fashion show. Now, the interesting about this fashion show is that it is a fashion show made up of primarily the wives. Sometimes you might have a sister or something like that, but basically the wives of current and former NFL players. And their husband come, and their job is to do nothing more than primarily support their wives. And I got a chance to catch up with a legendary NFL player, a former player, a guy I grew up watching back in the 80s and 90s. He played most of his career with the Green Bay Packers, and later on with the Buffalo Bills, went to Super Bowl with them as well. And this is James Lofton, star wide receiver. Matter of fact, he was an NFL commentator for a long time. I caught up with him as he supported his wife and family at the NFL off the field NFL Wives Association fashion show in Phoenix last year.
All right, guys, every time I come to Super Bowl, I got Mike right here. There we go.
Let's go again. 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, every time I go to Super Bowl, I like to meet the guys in the gold jacket. This guy doesn't know, but I watched him as a Green Bay Packer fan back in the day.
I thought you were going to say you watched me when you were a kid.
No, I can't. I wish I could say that, but I can't. But here's the guy in the gold jacket, one of the best hands in the NFL history. Mr. James Lofton in the building. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It is great to be here back in the Valley of the Sun. Been to a couple other Super Bowls here in attendance. I was even here when the 49ers ran. Who'd they run out of the building?
I think it was the Chargers, isn't it?
Yes, they did. I didn't want to say that. They ran the Chargers all the way to L.A.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, man, every time I come out here to this event, it really is to see the energy with you guys supporting your wives. And what does that mean to be out here now letting them be on the spotlight?
Well, you know it's great because what you realize when you see these women who have started this organization, who do so much in their individual communities, that they really were the backbones when their husbands were out on that field. And I know it's so true for me and my wife. We've been married for 42 years. And
say it one more time. How long?
42 years. And,
wow.
But when you look at her, she's only 43 years old now.
That's cradle robbing, bro. You know that. Well, look, man, I tell you, that's a testimony. That's a great testimony to have, man, because nowadays, you see if they married 43 minutes, they've done something.
Well, and you know what you have to do? Young people ask me, I say, you have to make the decision early on that you want to stay married. Because life is like a roller coaster. You go up slowly, and then all of a sudden you feel like you're going down fast.
Okay,
you know
that,
what
right?
you do then? You hang on.
Hang on. There you go.
On. You may be screaming and shouting and doing that, but you hang on because you want to see it through.
Well, listen, guys, that's words from the Hall of Famer, James Lofton. Gold jacket on the field and apparently gold jacket in life. James, listen, man, how can people, do you have like social media or website that people can follow you or get involved in maybe some of the things you do to support the community?
I am Lofton80 at Twitter. So I think I got that right.
Right, okay, well, we're going to check it.
I can only do one social media thing because, I'm of a certain age.
Well, I'm all right with you, brother. Listen, if it wasn't for the young guys been around me, we'd be set. But listen, James Lofton, appreciate you. Guy with the gold jacket, like you said, one of the best hands ever in NFL. Thank you for joining us.
You bet.
Was our interview with James Lofton. Again, you can hear a great supporter of his family, married for 43 years. James and Mrs. Lofton, and his wife has been a leader in that group. And again, that's Off the Field NFL Wives Association. Check them out. It's www.offthefieldnflwa.org. And again, that's the Off the Field NFL Wives Association, and their website is www.offthefieldnflwa.org. And I'm going to put that on the screen for you, for those of you who are watching us. It would be really great if you guys should support them. They do a lot of good stuff, giving back to the community. And yeah, just great to be a part of that. And of course, all the other things that went on. We had, of course, a lot of parties. Amen. A lot of those. But it is just a great thing to be out there and hang out and just see all of the other things that go on besides the game itself. And that's why so many cities, will clamor to get the Super Bowl, because it literally is a cash machine. Because of course, when the Super Bowl comes to town, everything price wise goes up. We all know that. But more importantly, all of your restaurants, even a lot of your clothing stores, when people come in, they have to buy clothing, all of your memorabilia, all that kind of stuff, all gets bought out. You go through the airport, and the airport now is transformed with nothing but items regarding the Super Bowl. And so all these things create money making opportunity. And what a lot of people don't even realize as well is that the NFL um, does something very, very interesting. They have an outreach to minority businesses. Um, they literally come in, usually, I guess, about 6 to 7 months before the Super Bowl itself, maybe sometimes a year, almost a year before the Super Bowl. And they actually have forums in the whole city where you can come in as a small business person and get certified by the NFL. So what that happens is that you now actually, when people come to town, if they look in the big Super Bowl booklet, your company actually gets listed, in the area of expertise where they are. So if they have an area, if you're a caterer, they have an area where people coming in town throwing parties looking for caterers, they can find you in that Super Bowl booklet. So cool stuff that happens around the Super Bowl, and want to give you guys a quick look at that. And again, if you want to find out more about the NFL Wives, there is their website. Again, it's Off the Field NFLWA.org. So great stuff there. And again, that's how our year kind of started off. Now, we did do some stuff here locally around Atlanta. We did get a chance to go to the Peach Bowl breakfast as well. We did do that last year, which was pretty cool, and got a chance to see some of the outstanding local high school coaches. One of the coaches that we cover here won an award. Our good buddy, Pastor, I'm gonna call him Pastor. He could be later on. Head coach from the Jonesboro Cardinals. Our good buddy, head coach Timothy Floyd, won an award. Two coaches for being outstanding coach of the year, but not just for his on the field coaching, but also, the impact he's made on the young men that he has been over coaching football. And this was all part of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. They have this every year, and around the Peach Bowl. And the Peach Bowl is normally held. It's normally held on New Year's Eve. Now, of course, last year was incredible because it was part of the college football semifinal, and the University of Georgia on its way to its second consecutive title in college football. So they were back-to-back champions, won an unbelievable game as the Ohio State Buckeyes missed what would have been a game-winning field goal with virtually no seconds on the clock, and allowed the Bulldogs to hold on to a unbelievable classic 42-41 victory over the Ohio State Buckeyes. And like I said, again, we were there on the scene for that. Just incredible activity. It was just insane. So again, our year started off really with a bang. First of all, with the Peach Bowl, where literally at the stroke of midnight, Georgia hung on to knock off the Ohio State Buckeyes in that epic semifinal game. And then, of course, we went on to the Super Bowl and were able to check out all the great things that went on before Super Bowl 57. So that's how our year started off. And then as things continued on, we kind of dealt with all the ups and downs of the Atlanta Hawks, and literally still continuing with that now. And so I'm going to ask the question later on social media: what do you think really needs to happen with the Atlanta Hawks to get them back to what we thought was the ascent of a team headed to be a annual contender for the NBA title? What do you guys think? Because I mean, we really saw a situation where the Hawks looked like they were going to be the next it team. They had a young core led by Trey Young, the now departed John Collins. It was a team that we all thought was going to be taking things to the next level. So we're going to take a little break. When we come back, I want to ask the question, what do you think, first of all, happened to the Hawks? And what do you think they need to do to get back to being a NBA playoff and title contender? We'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't you go nowhere.
Did you know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia?
Oh, we lost a commercial. Come on back, Mr.
Did you
Engineer.
know that Allen Vigil Ford in Morrow, Georgia also has Lincoln? Over 35 years of using the Vigil Touch to provide excellent customer service, works hand in hand with the Lincoln Motor Company to provide a luxurious and seamless way to acquire your next luxury vehicle. Lincoln has an array of full-service complimentary owner benefits. These benefits include hospitality partnerships, service pickup and delivery, all which can be accessed through the Lincoln Way app. You can even contact the 24/7 concierge to have someone assist you. Come and see our great inventory of new and pre-owned Lincolns today. Call 678-364-7345 to make an appointment with one of our brand champions or shop 24/7 online at allenvigillincoln.net.
This is OJ Howard with Real Talk Sports.
What's up, guys? This is Tim Tebow. You're listening to Real Talk Sports.
This is Charles Woodson. Let me grab the mic. You ready? This is Charles Woodson with Real Talk Sports. Hey, it's your boy JB Smooth with Real Talk Sports.
We're back with the Real Talk Sports Show. Again, I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, as we broadcast to you from the lockdown living room. We're back here again as COVID, unfortunately, has struck my household. I got it. Talking. Yeah, Johnny got the COVID, along with my daughter. We both are battling with that. So I thought I'd go back old school. This was how we first started with our famous lockdown living room. And we kind of got back on the map. So many of you started watching our show during the COVID lockdown. Then once again, I'm locked down in my house on COVID restriction. But the good news is I feel a lot better than we did a couple of days ago when we were in the teeth of the disease. So we thank God that we're feeling much better, myself and my daughter. Thank you for all those of you who prayed that who knew about it. But just want to say welcome back to the lockdown living room. And we want to give a big shout out to the young lady back at the production studios of the legendary WIGO 1570. I'm talking about the one and only Lady E holding it down there, as she always done every weekend, making sure things are going nice and smooth there at our studios. Remember, you can listen to WIGO on your dial if you're in the Atlanta area, 1570 AM. That's right, we're a real full-blown AM station here in Metro Atlanta. You can hear us in about a 30-mile radius from Clayton County, so all into downtown Atlanta, into Decatur, all into Cobb County. You can check us out and listen to us on the dial, or you can go online, WIGO1570.com, or the easiest thing is just to go to the app. There's a free app called TuneIn. Put in WIGO1570 in the search engine, and voila, you'll find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. Okay, let's get back to the Hawks. All right, Hawks lost another game once again last night. They lose 117-110 to the Kings, the Sacramento Kings. And I'm at a complete loss. I mean, I don't even know what to think, what to say. Good news is Jalen Johnson is back, and he has been a missing component to this Hawks team. He balled out last night. 16 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists for Jalen Johnson. He saw big minutes, 35 minutes for the game. Trey Young, another game, 24 points, 9 assists, and his tag team partner, DeJounte Murray, 18 points and 3 assists. But still, this Hawk team can't seem to find a way to consistently win. You don't know what it is. A lot of it is bad shooting. Last night was another case where the Hawks shot poorly. They had more shots, as they usually do, than their opponent. But terrible shooting from the Hawks last night. 39.4% from the floor. They did shoot around 34% from three-point range, which isn't too bad. Uh, Ironically, the stats that normally hold the key to a Hawks loss were in their favor. Normally, the Hawks get out rebounded. They did not last night. They actually out rebounded the Hawks. I mean, the Kings by a wide margin, thanks to Jalen Johnson, 51-38. They had stunningly 18 offensive rebounds to only 5 for the Kings. But at the end of the day, the Hawks just couldn't seem to get over the hump as far as their ability to not only score but to defend. Now, to their defense, speaking of defend, Sacramento only 117 points, which is less than what the Hawks normally give up. But I guess the biggest telling story on the loss of this game is found their inability to defend in the paint, where they outscored 52-40 down low. And that really was the key to the ball game, because all the other measurables, the Hawks were right there, and the Kings had more assists, 35-29. But that big stat, that margin was more than a margin of victory. 52 points, so a 12-point deficit on points in the paint. And this goes back to what I've said before about this Hawks team. This team has got to get bigger. I know these guys are all fascinated about the new NBA and having all these guys like Okongwu, who's lean and mean. I mean, he's a good defender. Clint Capella, an outstanding defender and a great rebounder. But those guys are under 7 feet and they're under 270 pounds. You need a big guy, because that's the way the NBA is now. We all thought, because of the Steph Curry era, that this was going to be the end of the big man in the NBA. But as Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid have shown, and Giannis, these three have shown that the big man is still in vogue in the NBA, because these are the guys who have been racking up MVP after MVP, and these are the guys whose teams have been winning the postseason battle the last 3 years. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to tell you is that the Hawks have got to find a way to get a big man. Now, I know big men are necessarily hard to find. You're not going to probably find another Joel Embiid or Giannis or even a Joker, because those guys are MVP candidates. But what you do have out there is you do have some big men that the Hawks can get. Someone at least 6'11", really would be great to have 7 feet, and someone at least 270, 280 pounds. Somebody, a guy that can really get in there and mix it up and be a rim defender, somebody that can defend in the paint, because that is apparently where the Hawks are really having their problems, is defending in the paint. Matter of fact, let's take a look at our good buddies here from StatMuse, and let's see if I'm accurate about that. Let's take a peek. Let's go to StatMuse and put that in. But I think that's probably the biggest problem for the Hawks, is their ability to defend in the paint. Let's take a look here. I'll put in here defense in the paint for 2023. And let's just see where the Hawks score out. Let's just see if my theory is right. Yep. Don't quite like that. See who has best defense. Defense in the paint. I think it's in the paint, if I'm doing that right. But I think that's really the problem with this Hawk team, is the fact that they cannot defend in the low post area. And even though, again, not a lot of the game is necessarily played there, against the Hawks, it seems to be a real problem, that idea of being able to stop teams in the paint. So let's take a look here, go online here. The best defense in the paint. Let's see, it doesn't like that. Okay, put it. What's your NBA team? Let's do it like that. Let's put it in that way. Which NBA team has best in the paint defense? Let's try that. Let's see if we can get an answer here from StatMuse. Dun, 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 dun. And speaking of that, I will ask again, if you would like to be a part of this broadcast, we need your help. We need your help desperately. um, we could really use some production help. We could really use a situation where you could come in here and help us out doing stuff like this, stats, um, even help us out doing the broadcast. Because we try to do a multi-level broadcast, audio, video, live streaming, radio, all this happening at one shot. And the more the more help that we have, the better it is for us. We could really use your help. So if you, in fact, have an interest in being part of sports talk radio or TV, I'm going to tell you, please, ma'am, please, sir, come on and help us out. I mean, we need you. We need you in a big way. And we know that if you were part of our broadcast, that in fact, we can make this show way better than what it is today. So I'm just asking you, please, ma'am, please, sir, come on and join the Real Talk Sports Show. Hit us up. We'd love to have you be a part of the show. We think that, like I said, we think that it could be something where we could be epic, but we need you. So come on and hit me up. And again, we're at Real Talk Sports. Oh, hope I didn't lose my spot here. There I am. Went off the screen for a second. Yeah, hit me up, Simmons at realtalksports.net, or call us up at 678-410-9833. We would love to have you be a part of the broadcast. Like I said again, I think the Hawks' biggest problem is they need some help in the paint. They're going to need a big man. They need someone like say around 6'11" to 7 feet, someone who can really mix it up in the paint for them to get to the next level. If you agree, hit me up. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back with more of the Real Talk Sports Show in just a moment. Don't go nowhere. Please. Thank you, and thank you.
The day has arrived. It's time to let more people know about your business. You have the right marketing plan and the messaging in place. But do you have the right messenger? Good advertising and promotions need a professional sound so the message can be clearly understood. Don't leave your brand image to chance. Let our team of voiceover experts at CME lend you a hand. Give us a call at 678-304-8121 to find out how we can partner with you to give your business its voice. Are you in the market for a new vehicle? Well, check out Allen Vigil Ford Lincoln in Morrow, Georgia. We have one of the largest inventories in our area for both new and pre-owned vehicles, so we're sure to have something for everyone. Family owned and operated since 1982, customer satisfaction is our number one priority. Come see our full lineup of vehicles and find the one that best fits you. Give us a call today, 678-726-5739, or shop us 24/7 online at allenvigilford.net.
Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm Aria, the first AI presenter for Real Talk Sports. We want to get your feedback about my participation in the show, so please leave comments. So stay tuned, the Real Talk Sports Show is coming up.
And we're back. Welcome to the final segment of the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons. And as you can see here, I'm in the lockdown living room. We're back in here because dun, 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 we got the COVID, baby. Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, my daughter and myself, we have the COVID. Very unhappy to admit that because I had survived being COVID free for pretty much all of this time and really being in the middle of some stuff, covering sports, covering the Braves in the World Series, going to games, and primarily unmasked and unvaxxed. But it done caught up to me. And so we're here back. And the way we started, this backdrop here is what we used during the height of the pandemic. It's kind of how people got to know us again. People knew us before from doing a lot of live broadcasting on the scene, but now they were really kind of locking in. A lot of people thought, hey, man, it's a really cool place you have here. Um, but very, very excited um, to be able to talk to you today, feeling a whole lot better than I did feel. Because like I said, that COVID is nothing nice. And whoever concocted this in the lab, they should get the brake speed off them. Just saying, because this is terrible. And again, I'm not making a joke of it because so many people passed away from this, over the years from this thing. So many people have had great distress. I know friends that were near death's door. They've lost family members. They've been terribly sick themselves on multiple occasions. So Again, my hearts and prayers out to everybody. And then again, thankful to you for those of you who supported me and are supporting me with your prayers and calls. Let me know, hey, preacher, feel better. And I am much better. All right. One thing I don't know how to feel. And I know one thing last week, Falcons fans felt better because they did win their final game at home. Really probably their best game of the year, 29-10 victory over the Indianapolis Colts. Former starting quarterback Desmond Ritter was benched again in favor of Taylor Heineke. And Heineke put on a really just exactly the kind of performance that the Falcons have had all year. They would already be at 10 wins because their defense has been dominant all year. But unfortunately, the two losses before this big win over the Colts, kind of a semi-surprise win, basically eliminated them from any real playoff contention. Now they have a shot. So right now they have a 14% chance of getting to the playoffs. And we know from Falcons miscues being on the other end that teams have done strange things. It's the NFL. Things have happened. In order for the Falcons, like for example, let's look at the playoff scenario. First of all, for the Falcons to win the NFC South, the Buccaneers would have to lose their next two games, which ironically are against the Saints and the Panthers. Very unlikely that they would do something as dumb as the Falcons and lose to the Panthers. So if they're tied, the Bucks have the tiebreaker, so the Falcons are out there. Now the other option would be for the Falcons to get to the wild card, as it's most likely the second wild card. So many things have to happen in that scenario. It is beyond comprehension. I mean, it's like I was looking at something today. You know, the road to the playoffs for the Falcons. It was like real crazy. Let me see if I can find it again. It was like 6 or 7 teams had to lose a combination of games for the Falcons to be able to get to postseason play for 2023. Um, so most likely the Falcons are out for this year. And so the question remains, okay, if the Falcons, let's just even say they win the last two games, the do the do the Falcons bring back Coach Arthur Smith? I mean, they bring him back. I mean, everybody's saying it's pretty much a wrap. They're gonna do it. Um, but to me, Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot, on balance, have rebuilt the roster in a way that you would want for a team to be have long-term success to some degree. Okay, to some degree. We definitely have a plus, I think, with Drake London. He has shown on the field with his performance that he could be really a dominant wide receiver. Now, I gotta be real careful. Similar because of his height and his ability to catch contested passes. He has the potential to develop into a Mike Evans-like player, um, where he could really be a dominant player, a dominant wide receiver for the Falcons over the next decade, barring injuries. So we got to give him a plus on that. Um, the other two top draft picks, Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts, really were still out on that. Now, obviously, with Bijan Robinson's his rookie years, we don't know. He is amongst the top 10 in the NFL in rushing, and he has shown flashes of electrifying brilliance, no doubt about it. On the other hand, he has also shown the nasty habit of putting the ball on the carpet because he has had two critical fumbles, which I believe has led to Falcons losses, which had that not happened, we wouldn't be talking about the Falcons shot. We'd be talking about them getting ready, to rest players as they get ready to head to postseason as NFC South champions. So, I mean, as good as he's been, two critical fumbles in absolutely terrible times, I think, that cost Falcons the victories, and had some times where he's disappeared. I mean, against the Panthers, he was no more good. He simply had no ability to consistently run the ball in that type of sloppy field weather. So, like I say again, I don't want to say he's done okay. Um, Not sure if he's giving me what I expected for a number one, a first round, number 8 overall pick. Can't really say that because there are other running backs that are doing similar type things that were drafted much further behind him. Now, looking at Kyle Pitts, um, same thing. I kind of got a mixed bag on him. Rookie year was okay. People say, "Oh, you say it's okay?" He went to the Pro Bowl. Yep. He had Matt Ryan. Ryan was able to give him the ball. Didn't get a lot of touchdown catches, but it was very effective. And like I said again, he set the all-time record. Of course, he did it in 3 more games than Mike Ditka, but he did in fact break the record for most yardage by a rookie tight end. So that first year was great. He gets injured, and the Falcons, I think, bring him back too early this year. I think they should have really basically kept him on bench almost the whole year, because really the first 2/3 of the year you could tell the guy was not at 100%, and he's really barely at 95% now. And of course, that's why you see increased production. But I think he should have been benched longer. Now, some people say, hey, he didn't do proper rehabilitation. I don't care what the story is. The guy was paying at about 70 or 80%. He should have been on the bench. And the fact that Arthur Smith continues to ask this guy to block as much as he does, considering he's not a blocking tight end, I think is also stunning his production. So I'm kind of out on that. Problem about that is that's the number 4 pick overall. And just to give you an idea what other guys they could have had, they could have Panay Sewell, who's turned out to be one of the best young offensive linemen in the NFL. And what area do the Falcons need help? Offensive line. You think to yourself, let's take Pitts out of the picture for a second, because they've been able to get almost the same amount of production out of Jonnu Smith, kind of a semi-journeyman tight end that they're getting out of Pitts. He's like 3 or 4 catches behind him for the season, and he's only 1 touchdown catch behind. Just saying. Imagine if the Falcons had Panay Sewell healthy, a healthy McGarry, and a healthy Lord have mercy, why am I drawing a blank now? Chris Lindstrom. They would have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL. So now would you not only have a team that is an epic performer in terms of offensive weapons, now they have offensive line that can just maul people. Think about this. The Falcons have one of the best rushing attacks in the league. They're a top 10 rushing team in the league the last 2 years, top 4 in 2 of the last 3 years. So imagine with Panay Sewell. Dominant. And now, not only that, but you have a better ability to pass block. So who knows? Maybe a less frazzled Desmond Ritter would have performed better. I'm just saying. Well, we're going to go to social media. Hang on one second, guys. Let's go to social media as we get close to wrap-up time. My goodness, that hour goes fast. It goes really fast. Let's go to social media here for a second there. Let's look here. And I got somebody singing out the same pew. H.C. Hardy. He said, hear me out. I don't even have to worry about hear you out, brother, because I'm on the same page. Russell Wilson's a great move from a community and team standpoint. His work ethic and professionalism and leadership is exceptional. Let me tell you something about Russell Wilson. First of all, probably knowing the Falcons brass the way we have seen, he probably will not be asked to come here for a couple of reasons. Number one, he's got a hellacious salary that I don't think the Falcons want to get back in that heavy salary cap. So he'd have to take a huge adjustment in his salary. But from a PR point of view and from a fan base point of view, it would be an exceptional move. First of all, uh, I know people poke fun of him. They say sometimes he's a fake. I don't know about that, but he appears to be a godly man. Okay. Number two, you got his wife, Sierra, who is an Atlanta legend. So just imagine Russell and Sierra kind of as the it couple here in Atlanta. I know people, that's off the field stuff, but as a marketing thing, you be packed out every day because she is going to help him move that needle. So she's going to have all her friends, entertainment people be there. So if you think the Atlanta football and sports scene was hype at the Hawks or hype back in the day when they had Dion and them, imagine just Sierra and Russell in the building. I'm just saying. And he is a quarterback, even though he's aged, has the ability to do what? Move an RPO type offense because he still got some wheels. Okay, last thing. AC Hardy said, if I'm Arthur Blank or the GM, I would take the offense from Arthur Smith if retained and hire passing game coordinator from Miami, Darrell Bevel, who's the offensive coordinator in 2011, 2017 Seahawks with Wilson and took them to the Super Bowl twice. Hardy, why don't we just hire you, bro? Last thing he says here is this will be an incentive for him to come like Aaron Rodgers with Nathaniel Hackett. Well said.
AC Hardy, man, you were spot on that thing with Russell Wilson, man. I'm with you 110%. But unfortunately, the Atlanta sports scene isn't all about that. All right, guys, we got to go. We appreciate all those of you listening to us on the legendary WIGO Pacer of 1570 AM. Remember, the minister talking to you now. If you don't know the Lord Jesus Christ, your personal Savior, get to know him today. That's your only way to get to heaven, and that's the only way to have a life well lived and avoid that nasty place called hell when you die. All right, guys, we thank you so much. Keep it locked right here on WIGO 1570. Remember, follow us anywhere on social media at Real Talk Sports, the number 7. All right, guys, until the next time when we get back together again, God bless you and have a wonderful rest of your day or evening, whichever may apply. So long and God bless.